In the CPA world, there's this mantra we hear all the time. Grow faster, get more clients, offer more services, push that revenue number up. But what if the real secret to long-term success, to actual profitability, isn't about speed at all? Today, we're going to dig into why the most successful firms are hitting the brakes just a little to build something way more valuable, operational stability. Let's explore how they're doing it.
First, we'll dive into what we're calling the growth paradox. Then we'll look at the very real, hidden costs of just being busy all the time. After that, we'll lay out a blueprint for a new operating foundation, talk about how to make outsourcing actually work for you, and finally, we'll get to the good part, the huge payoff you get from stable, intentional growth.
All right, let's jump right into our first section, the growth paradox. This is all about flipping a common industry belief right on its head, the idea that faster is always better.
Seriously, take a second and think about that. When you're making decisions every day about new clients, about your team's workload, about your tech, what are you solving for? Are you building for a quick sprint, or are you building for a marathon? The answer to that question changes absolutely everything.
And this slide right here really gets to the heart of it. On one hand, the perception is pretty simple. More clients must equal more success, right? That's what we're all told. But the reality, what the truly profitable firms have figured out, is that stability is the real driver of profitability. Having predictable capacity, smooth workflows, and a team that isn't constantly putting out fires, that's the magic formula.
So when you build on an unstable foundation, any growth just feels like chaos. It creates this constant state of firefighting, which leads us right into the real cost of being busy.
The first symptom? Oh, we all know this one. Chronic overtime. It's not just for busy season anymore, is it? It's just Tuesday. And your best people are getting totally burned out. And what happens next? The bottleneck. Those review backlogs start to pile up, not just in April, but in July, in September, and that creates this incredible amount of stress for your senior team. And where does it all end up? Right on the partners' desks. So instead of thinking about the big picture, instead of steering the ship, partners get dragged down into reviewing routine work, just trying to keep things afloat. And this right here, this is the light bulb moment. The problem isn't your people. I guarantee you they're not inefficient. The problem is the system they're stuck in. It's an old model that is completely understructured for the demands of today. It's a system problem, not a people problem.
Okay, so if it's a system problem, how in the world do you fix the system? Well, you have to build a totally new operating foundation. This is about consciously deciding to move away from that reactive firefighting mode and building a stable, predictable core for your firm.
And the tool to make this happen is something called operational outsourcing. But look at the language here. This is not about just shipping work off somewhere to cut costs. It's a strategic shift. The whole point is to build a rock-solid foundation inside your firm by delegating the right kind of work. So, what kind of work are we talking about shifting? It's all the high-volume, execution-heavy stuff that just eats up your team's day. Hours and hours of routine bookkeeping, all those bank and credit card recs, drafting the first version of financial statements. When you shift these tasks, you free up your internal team to do what you hired them for, high-level analysis and client strategy.
Now, this all sounds great in theory, but let's get real. How do you do this without damaging the most valuable thing you have, your client's trust? And that's the big question, isn't it? It's the one that keeps firm owners up at night. Your clients hired you. They trust your people, your brand. So how can you possibly bring in outside help without breaking that trust?
Well, the answer is a white label service model. And this is so key. With this model, your outsourced team becomes a totally seamless extension of your firm. They work under your brand, they use your email addresses, they follow your processes. To your client, they are simply part of your team, invisible.
So think about it from your client's perspective. What changes for them? Nothing, except for the better. You are still their only point of contact. You have total control. The technical work just hums along quietly in the background. All the client knows is that your firm just became way more responsive and reliable. Let's make this super concrete with a real-world example. Let's talk about bank reconciliations. I know, not the most exciting topic, but they are the absolute foundation of accurate financials. You get them right and on time, everything else is smooth sailing. You get them wrong, well, that's when the chaos starts. Because when those reconciliations are late, it's like a domino effect of bad news. The month-end close just grinds to a halt. Little errors get carried forward and start to compound. Reviews suddenly take twice as long. And any advice you want to give your client feels weak because it's based on old data.
Getting this one little task right creates a massive ripple of efficiency through your whole firm. All of this work, building this new foundation, it all leads to the best part, the stable growth payoff. This is the after picture. This is what it feels like when your operations are solid and growth is a choice you make, not something that just happens to you.
So let's do a quick gut check. Do any of these red flags look familiar? Staff working late all the time, reviews piling up sooner and sooner each month, partners getting stuck in the weeds, or, and this is a big one, that feeling of hesitation when a great new client comes along because you're scared you can't handle the work? That's when you know growth feels more draining than energizing.
And it all comes down to this simple truth. Chasing fast growth might look cool from the outside, but building stable growth is what actually lasts. Stable firms are the ones that keep their best people because they're amazing places to work, and they're the ones that clients stick with for decades because they deliver consistently.
So I'll leave you with this one last question to think about for your own firm. Right now, is your growth draining you, your team, and your passion for this work, or is it energizing you for what's next? Building that operational stability, that's how you flip the switch.